Hey there. I wanted to come and give a little chat about when things trigger us and how we each need to check ourselves and not always the other person or the situation. So, what do I mean by that? So, whenever something triggers us, makes us mad, makes us sad, makes us frustrated, um, sometimes there are completely legitimate factors outside of us that are truly bothersome and would bother anybody and everybody. In addition to that, though, there are times where when something triggers us, our responsibility is to also check ourselves. And when we check ourselves, we want to kind of be looking at kind of like two different categories. And what we want to be checking on is our mood and what buttons am I carrying. So, what do I mean by those things? So, in order to make this a fun explanation, I decided to use some props to make it hopefully clear. So, if I put on my little sexy readers, I'm choosing to put on glasses because this is how I now see the world, right? So, when we're thinking about the world around us, we need to stop and look at how am I viewing the world right now. So those two things, my mood and the buttons that I carry with me, are going to change how I'm viewing the world around me. Here's what I mean by that. This lovely piece of ribbon is going to be part of my demonstration. So this is obviously stuff that I am pulling from my very own house, my very own room to hopefully make this point. So no fancy props here, folks. So what I have here is some transparent but blue ribbon. If my mood for the day, for whatever reason, I woke up on the wrong side of the bed, I had whatever sad stuff happened to me earlier in the day, doesn't matter. If my mood is sad, what I have to be aware of is now I'm seeing everything blue. So our mood then skews how we are seeing things. If I look around the room right now, I see paper in front of me that's white, but it kind of has a little blue tint to it, right? So when I'm sad, I'm still observing the things around me, but I'm viewing them through kind of a sad lens, which means it's not 100% accurate, right? So the other thing that I want to cleverly add on here is the buttons that we carry with us. What do I mean by that? Every single one of us carries with us what I call our hot buttons. They're the things that somebody can push in us and will instantly cause us a reaction. Anger, sadness, rejection, whatever. So these buttons generally come most often from childhood crap, things that we encountered when we were children, either what I would call big T traumas or little T traumas. It kind of, either way, doesn't matter. We have these buttons inside of us that are just very sensitive and they are easily pushed by other people. So what are some common buttons? So for me, let's see, growing up, I grew up 5 and 6 years younger than my siblings. So I was the baby, and it meant I always was wanting to be around them and do stuff with them. And they did a lot of stuff with me, but they're still 5 and 6 years older than me. They don't always want a little kid sister tagging along. My adult brain now totally gets that, but my little kid brain at the time did not get that. And so one of my buttons that I carried with me for a really long time was I could very easily feel left out or rejected. So if that's one of my buttons, then that skews my vision a little bit too, because that's an old issue that may or may not actually be happening right now, but when I'm looking through these skewed lenses, I might see it even when it's maybe not all the way there or not really there. But because I'm carrying it with me, it's in my line of view, and I might misinterpret what's going on. What are some other like hot button issues? Depending on, again, different circumstances that we each have when we're growing up, it might mean I'm always alone. I can't really count on anybody. I'm always alone. It could be, oops, that's not a good paper. It might be, again, based on like stuff that we encounter growing up. Like, man, I just can't ever seem to do anything good enough. It has to be perfect, and I just can't ever seem to get it just right. So now you can see, oh my goodness, what if I'm carrying around all three of these things at once, right? We don't generally have just one hot button thing. And our mood obviously changes throughout the day. And like, imagine what this would feel like to go through the day, not only with a mood, but like I'm seeing hot button things that may or may not actually be there, but because I'm carrying these things with me. So part of what we need to do, let me like remove my great demonstrating glasses here so that I can actually see properly. Whew, that feels weird now. What do we do with all this? So again, when something is triggering us, we need to pause and think, am I seeing the world right now through, instead of rose-colored glasses, am I seeing the world now through mood-colored glasses? Am I seeing it all blue, like sadness? Am I seeing it all green, like, I don't know, with envy? Am I seeing it all red, right? We need to pause and assess, how is my mood maybe skewing what I'm seeing right now? And then we also need to pause and say, and what are my hot button issues? Like, we should all get really kind of familiar with them so that we know when they pop up. Are any of these things that are bothering me in my present moment, are they related to my hot button issues? Like, are they things that, like, historically are just always going to bother me? So why we would do those assessments is to hopefully like get a clearer view of what's actually going on, because then we can kind of say, oh wait, like, yep, I know I'm in a like grouchy mood right now, so there's a good chance that like whatever this thing is that I'm extra grouchy about right now is really just because I'm in a grouchy mood. Or I know I have a hot button issue about feeling left out, so the fact that my friend didn't call me and called somebody else, like, I need to just be aware, like, it doesn't mean it that I actually am left out. Like, it just might mean it's a really sensitive trigger. So it helps us to look at this current situation, hopefully with a little bit more softness, a little bit more gentleness. And then the bigger thing is we can start to learn how to shift our mood. If I'm aware that I have sadness going on or that I'm grouchy today, we can learn how to shift our mood. And B, when it comes back to those big hot button issues, we can absolutely learn to like not only identify what our sensitive buttons are that we carry with us, but also how do I start to bring healing to them so that they're not obstructing my view all the time? How do I start to heal those things so that they're no longer getting in the way of me seeing all the cool, awesome stuff that is all around me, right? So that one is super important, and it's like so important that we can't cover it all in like one video here. That specific piece there, actually both of those pieces are things that I cover in other videos. So stay tuned for more of those. And if you would like even more regular, consistent information, you can check out my Facebook profile, which is under Lisa Hazemer, LMSW, LLC. And my website, which I have to look over here to make sure I say it right, lisahazmer.mykajabi.com. So hopefully this is helpful. Check out more videos and more content that will keep coming. Peace out, guys.